Speaking of moving on, speaking of Porsha and Simon are back in the news yet again because Simon has filed even more court documents, child. And it has been revealed that Porsha was getting, well, I think we told y'all this, a 5-figure monthly allowance. Okay. Now, in this fight over the prenup, there are court documents, okay, that Simon has filed that basically detail a lot of child, y'all want me to read these court documents, or do you want me to give y'all a synopsis? Because it's long. These court documents is long. Simon actually filed a response in opposition to petitioner's emergency motion to enforce the prenuptial agreement. So in his response, Simon is basically saying, look, she quit her job, and when she quit her job, I gave her a 5-figure monthly allowance to compensate for the fact that she quit her job in order to travel with me and be my wife and be there for my kids and her kids. She's gonna be a stay-at-home wife and mother. Okay, you said to read it. Let me see. Y'all said to read it. Okay, look, I'm gonna read a little bit. Okay, I'll read a little bit. Hold on, let me put my stuff up, honey. Y'all know the drill. Well, this ain't copywritten. This is actual court documents. Hold on, I gotta put my stuff up. Hold on. I am going to put my. Y'all know I gotta put my. Cause you know people be like, she in Atlanta. Let me put my straight from the A's up. There they go, right there. Now I'm gonna present. Oh, it's late and I'm just running my mouth. Okay, look. This was filed 7/18. That was Friday, Thursday, one of them days. Okay. This is respondents' response in opposition to petitioner's emergency motion to enforce the prenuptial agreement and brief in support thereof. This is a lot, child. We gonna look at it. Okay, look, comes now Simon Guobadia, the respondent in the above style action. So basically, Simon is responding to Porsha's emergency motion to enforce the prenup. Okay, so here's his defense. Number one. Petitioner, aka Porsha, fails to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. Therefore, this court must deny the petitioner's motion to enforce. Okay. Affirmative defense number two. Petitioner fails to show that an emergency exists. Petitioner, including the words emergency in the title of the motion to enforce, does not automatically qualify the motion as an emergency. Petitioner commenced this divorce action on February 22nd, 2024, yet waited nearly 4 months before filing her emergency motion to enforce. Petitioner has not shown this court basis, legal nor factual, that rises to the level of an emergency. Therefore, this court must deny the petitioner's motion to enforce on its face. Y'all saying Simon is petty? I don't know. Seems like Porsha a little petty to me. Okay, here's defense number three. Petitioner, aka Porsha, failed to meet a condition precedent as required by the temporary order, and thus the petitioner's motion to enforce is not ripe to be heard. On May 31st, 2024, this court entered a temporary order which states, pursuant to the Fulton County rules, the parties shall exchange the Fulton County mandatory discovery by no later than May 15th, 2024. And pursue any supplemental discovery in good faith, subject to a meaningful effort to keep said discovery confidential as the parties may agree to, or as they may be guided by the court upon request. The parties shall participate in discovery and submit to mediation. They underline that part because that is very, very important to note, because it says that the petitioner, aka Porsha, has yet to comply with the court's temporary order by intentionally not participating in discovery, not exchanging the mandatory discovery, and not attending mediation. As such, the petitioner has failed to meet a condition precedent and prerequisite for this court to hold a hearing regarding the enforceability of the prenuptial agreement. Porsha saying, please enforce the prenup, but I ain't giving you nothing. I ain't telling you nothing. I ain't showing you nothing. If he wants to dispute it, he'll have to dispute it on his words alone. Even though the court said you got to submit all the things that he is asking for. The phone records, the this, the that, the bank statements, the employment records. Porsha is refusing to do so, and she is also, according to this court document, refusing to attend mediation. Oh, child. Now, here's some relevant facts. This is juicy. You know, I love me a good story. I know it's late, but we here. It's 1,000 of y'all in here counting Facebook. Like this video because this is court documents. Okay. The parties began dating and became engaged in the spring of 2021. It's a whole story. Y'all, I love court documents because, you know, if you're a good attorney, you know how to form a story. And Simon's attorney is forming this story and getting us involved. It says, on or about September 2021, the wife left her employment with Dish Nation and subsequently left her employment as a cast member on the reality show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, her two primary sources of income. On November 8th, 2021, well over a year before the parties got married, the husband purchased his $7 million home. Oh, Lord. How is it that Simon actually bought this house a year before they got married? That is interesting. I think I had it wrong last time. I thought it was like a week before they got married, but apparently it was a year and a week before they got married. Okay. It also says solely from his personal separate funds. Specifically, the husband sold 2 of his premarital properties. He used the proceeds as the $2.4 million down payment to purchase the marital residence. This is rich people problems. Okay, Simon sold 2 houses, put $2.4 million down on the $7 million house. The wife did not put no money down, according to this court documents. It says the wife also has a premarital home worth over $1.8 million in Gwinnett County, Georgia, which she still owns today. After the wife quit her job, the parties began discussing a prenuptial agreement in December 2021. Y'all take notes of these dates. During the negotiation phase and through the execution of the prenuptial agreement, the wife was not working on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, nor with Dish Nation. The wife quit her jobs to be a stay-at-home wife. This is basically killing all the narratives that have been online. Some people have been saying Porsha paid this, Porsha paid that. But according to these court documents, Porsha didn't pay nothing. Okay. It said the wife's decision to quit her jobs, her decision to not return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, her decision to be a stay-at-home wife, and her financial status were all material facts that the husband relied upon when he negotiated and executed the terms of the prenuptial agreement. Relying upon those material facts, the husband began paying the wife a 5-figure monthly allowance in contemplation of the wife quitting her jobs and not returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The husband's monthly allowance payments to wife carry over into negotiating the terms of the prenuptial agreement. Simon was paying her because she quit her jobs. Now, on November 17, 2022, 9 days prior to the party's marriage, the husband and wife signed the prenup. The husband and wife, through their counsels at the time, jointly drafted and negotiated the terms and provisions of the prenup. The wife did not disclose and or misrepresented the material facts to the husband at the time that the parties negotiated and signed the prenup. Ooh. Also, the wife's misrepresentations and failure to disclose material facts induced the husband into signing the prenuptial agreement. Oh, he's setting up a case for fraud. He's setting up a case. It says the wife failed to disclose that she would return to her employment on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Instead of disclosing this material fact, the wife made it very clear to the husband and the public that she was leaving the television show and not returning. The husband relied on his wife's representations or misrepresentations made to him during their engagement, the negotiation phase, and at the time the parties signed the prenup. But for the wife's misrepresentations to the husbands would not have signed off on the prenuptial agreement terms. Ooh, this is juicy. Furthermore, the parties did not have a meeting of the minds regarding the interpretation, intent, and meaning of the terms of the prenup, thus not forming a valid contract. What y'all saying in this chat? You said, sounds like Simon wanted to take care of her, and I bet he ended up paying. Ooh, you said he said that he told her to quit when they was happy. Oh, okay. You said read it. Gwinnett County to Fulton County is 30 minutes away. You said, I wonder what was the 5-figure amount. I don't know, girl. It says the husband. Hold on. Without any wait, what was I? Oh shoot, I didn't. Wait. What was that? Okay, the husband spent over $2 million of his personal money on the expenses of the party's wedding festivities. Y'all know it's people out there saying that Porsha paid for the weddings. Y'all know that is not true according to this court document. It says the husband did it. Okay. It said the parties were married on November 26, 2022, without any forewarning or communication to the husband. On February 22nd, 2024, the wife filed the instant divorce just after a year of marriage. The husband found out about the divorce through the media, as the wife had reported her divorce filing to media outlets and provided the media with the divorce filing before ever serving the husband with the complaint. Oh, no wonder Simon is out here slanging and banging the way he is. Oh my God, I'd be pissed off too. The wife took calculated steps to induce the husband into signing the prenuptial agreement and marrying the wife, only to divorce him just 453 days of marriage in order to intentionally trigger the provisions of the prenuptial agreement for her personal financial gain. Since the execution of the prenuptial agreement on November 17, 2022, the facts and circumstances have changed, as the wife is now employed earning monies that she was not earning during the negotiation and signing of the prenup. The wife has entered into agreements with True Entertainment, LLC, Bravo, NBC Universal, Truly Original, where she has employment deals, including her employment as a returning cast member on the Real Housewives of Atlanta television show, earning millions. The husband filed his defenses and counterclaim for divorce on March 27th and filed his first amendment to answer defenses and counterclaim for divorce on April 25th. The parties and their counsels appeared before this court for a 30-day status conference on April 4th. Thereafter, on May 31st, this court entered a temporary order addressing temporary possession of the marital residence, discovery, mediation, and the procedural flow of this case. This is the order that I read to you that basically said that Porsha could stay in the house, but that judge would not give an order stating that she could film, and he would not order that she could not film. Okay, there is the actual verbiage. It says the temporary order was signed by Judge Hebrowski Houston on Thursday, May 30th, e-filed on Friday, May 31st, but me emailed served by Odyssey, e-filed to the parties on Monday, June 3rd. The temporary order requires the parties to exchange and participate in discovery before this court conducts a hearing on the prenup. The respondent, aka Simon, filed and served several discovery requests to the petitioner and non-parties as required and permitted under the May 31st temporary order. Y'all remember Simon was trying to hold Porsha in contempt because he's been asking for her employment documents. He's been wanting to depose like several people. Remember, he accused, one of them was Future. He named several men in the situation. He wanted her to answer what her relationship was with these people. Okay, so it says as a result of the petitioner's refusal to comply with the court's orders, the respondent, aka Simon, has had to file several motions seeking the petitioner's compliance and cooperation. Without first complying with the temporary order, the petitioner has now filed a motion to enforce the prenup. So Porsha is filing to enforce the prenup, but she's not trying to get a court any documents where Simon could, dispute the prenup. It's interesting. I don't know. Maybe she's not giving those documents up because it must be something in it that will make him win. Anyway, it says, ironically, the petitioner seeks to enforce the prenup agreement, but has not complied with the terms of the prenuptial agreement herself. The husband respectfully requests that this court denies the wife's motion to enforce because no valid contract existed, as there was no meeting of the minds. The wife failed to meet her burden of proof under the Shearer test, and the wife has not upheld her end of the bargain regarding the terms of the prenuptial agreement. Oh, this is juicy. And I'm not going to read all of this other legal jargon. And most of y'all can if y'all want to, but it is very, very long. Okay. Simon and his attorney are asking the court to order her to submit the discovery so that they can argue that the prenuptial agreement is not enforceable. Okay. Let me keep going, honey. This is a law. No, petitioner failed to meet. Fraud. Fraud in the inducement may arise from a misrepresentation of an existing material fact amounting to either actual or constructive fraud that induces a party to enter a contract. Oh, Simon trying to argue fraud, honey. This is deep. This is real deep. In the instant case, during the negotiation phase of the prenuptial agreement and at the time the parties signed the prenuptial agreement on November 17, 2022, the wife never disclosed to the husband her plans to regain employment where she would earn multi-millions. Also, the wife never disclosed to her husband that she had plans to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta reality TV show ever. The wife made it very clear that she was leaving the show. These are material facts that should have been disclosed to the husband during the negotiation phase and on November 17, 2022, when the prenuptial agreement was signed, because such a fact would have changed how the husband negotiated the terms of the prenup and would have changed the terms of the prenup. Even if there was any evidence that wife disclosed these material facts to the husband at the time that the prenuptial agreement was executed on November 17th, the wife still made misrepresentations to the husband. Because the petitioner, aka Porsha, failed to disclose and or misrepresented material facts to husband, this court cannot by law enforce the prenuptial agreement. It is more. It's more. Before marrying the petitioner, the husband sold properties that he owned prior to his marriage and used those monies to buy his $7 million home on November 8, 2021. Over a year before his marriage. At the time the parties signed a prenuptial agreement and at all times relevant, the husband has been the sole payer of the expenses at the marital residence. It is wholly unfair and shocking to the conscience for the wife to be able to take the husband's $7 million premarital home, collect a substantial amount of the home equity, and receive an exorbitant financial payout from husband under the terms of the prenuptial agreement. After the wife entered into the marriage under fraudulent pretenses and failed to disclose and or misrepresented material facts. It is also wholly unfair and shocking to the conscience for the wife to be able to take husband's $7 million premarital home, collect a substantial amount of home equity, and receive an exorbitant financial payout from the husband under the terms of the prenup when the husband used over $2 million of his premarital funds to purchase the marital residence without any financial contributions from the wife. It is wholly unfair and shocking to the conscience for the wife to be able to take the husband's $7 million premarital home while also keeping her own $1.8 million home located in Gwinnett County, Georgia, leaving the husband with no home in Georgia to live in. It is wholly unfair and shocking to the conscience for the wife to be able to take possession of the husband's $7 million premarital home, collect a substantial amount of home equity, and receive an exorbitant financial payout from husband under the terms of the prenup, when the terms that were negotiated were in contemplation of wife no longer working. But now the wife is employed and she has returned to the Real Housewives of Atlanta TV show and has entered into agreements with True Entertainment, Bravo, NBC, and Truly Original, where the wife earns millions. So yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not an attorney and I'm not a judge, but I read these court documents and I'm like, oh my God, this is so deep. Whose side are y'all on? Put it in the chat. If you are Team Simon, put a 4 in the chat. If you are Team Porsha, put a 5 in the chat. I want to see. Put a 4 for Team Simon. Put a 5 for Team Porsha. I know it's getting late. It said the prenuptial agreement was signed by the parties on November 17th. Although the wife's career title as a reality TV star and social media influencer has not changed since signing the prenup, her income and employment status have changed since the execution of the prenup. When the parties signed a prenup on November 17th, the wife was not employed. She had already quit her jobs with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which was her primary source of income. And she had also quit her job with Dish Nation, which was her secondary source of income. The husband relied upon wife's employment status, or rather unemployment status, when he negotiated the terms of the prenuptial agreement. The wife filed an instant divorce action in February 2024, the same month that she announced that she would be returning to her employment as a cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The wife is now earning multi-millions, something she was not earning at the time that the prenuptial agreement was signed on November 17th, because she was not employed on the Real Housewives of Atlanta nor Dish Nation. The change in circumstances was not foreseeable, especially since the husband negotiated the terms of the prenuptial agreement in reliance upon the fact that the wife quit her jobs. The terms of the prenuptial agreement evidence husband's intent to compensate wife for not working and for not earning an income that she was earning when she was employed with the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Dish Nation. Moreover, the prenuptial agreement specifically stated, on page 2, that the disparity in the parties' income was foreseeable. However, nowhere in the prenuptial agreement does it state or even remotely reference that the wife's return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Dish Nation were foreseeable or expected future events. The prenuptial agreement terms were negotiated based on the understanding that the wife would no longer be employed. The husband would not have agreed to the current terms of the prenuptial agreement had he known that the facts and circumstances that exist today were going to occur. So yeah, okay. So this is interesting. And in conclusion, it's stating, wherefore, based on Georgia law, the facts, evidence, and record and foregoing arguments, the respondent requests that this court denies the petitioner's motion to enforce that this court sets aside the November 17, 2022 agreement as unenforceable. Did I see what y'all? Hold on. Did I see what y'all had said? You said 4, 4.5. You said 5. you team Porsha. You team Porsha. 4 for Team Simon. 5 for Team Porsha. Okay. All right. Okay. I see y'all. You said neither. Well, you said you ain't buying it. Well, it ain't my life. It ain't my money. I'm just here to read the documents. Okay. I don't have nothing to do with it. I don't. Yeah. So I would love to hear what y'all got to say. That's all I got, y'all. I was just coming on tonight just to talk, honey, just to chit chat. But then, I got all of these court documents and stuff, and I wanted to read them.